Today's topic: can dogs eat potatoes? Let's find out. Can dogs eat raw potatoes? In some circumstances, a raw potato can be a healthy addition to a dog's diet. However, raw potatoes should only be fed to dogs after they are cooked. Cooked potatoes will not cause your dog to become ill, and they can actually be beneficial to your dog's health. Cooked potatoes can increase the amount of vitamin C in your dog's diet, which is essential for the health of your dog's bones and teeth. Can dogs eat boiled potatoes? Boiled potatoes are a great way to help your dog stay healthy. Your dog can eat as many boiled potatoes as your dog wants, and you can keep the boiled potatoes in the fridge for your dog to eat later as well. Boiled potatoes can also be fed to your dog as a training aid. If you are trying to train your dog not to eat something that you don't want your dog to eat, then you can feed your dog some boiled potatoes as a distraction. This will help to train your dog to ignore whatever you don't want them to eat. Boiled potatoes can also be fed to your dog if your dog is having a hard time digesting something else that you are eating. What should I do if my dog eats potatoes? If your dog eats potatoes, then you should take him to the vet as soon as possible. Most dogs will recover completely from a potato overdose, but in rare cases a dog can eat too many potatoes and develop hypokalemia, or low levels of potassium in the blood. Signs of hypokalemia include weakness, muscle spasms, and difficulty breathing, and if your dog shows any of these signs you should take him to the vet immediately. The best way to keep your dog from eating potatoes in the future is to keep the potato in the fridge, and make sure that your dog doesn't have access to the potato until you are ready to give it to him. Are potatoes good for dogs? Potatoes are a great addition to a healthy diet, but they shouldn't be fed to your dog in large quantities. Potatoes are a complex carbohydrate, and they can be difficult for dogs to digest. If your dog eats too many potatoes, then he might develop a potato allergy. Potatoes are also high in starch, and they aren't healthy for dogs to eat in large quantities. Should I give my dog potatoes? Yes, potatoes are healthy for dogs because they are high in vitamin C. However, it's important to be careful how many potatoes your dog eats because your dog can develop a potato allergy, which can cause him to develop breathing problems. Potatoes also contain a lot of starch, and this can make your dog feel upset, and it can cause him to have diarrhea. If you are worried about this, then you can consider giving your dog boiled potatoes instead of raw potatoes. Alternatives to potato for dogs. If you want to give your dog something healthy to eat, then you can consider giving your dog some alternatives to potatoes instead. Some healthy alternatives to potatoes that you can give your dog include sweet potatoes, pumpkin, and butternut squash. Sweet potatoes are a great source of vitamin A, and they are high in dietary fiber, which is great for dogs who have a hard time digesting carbohydrates. Pumpkin is a great source of vitamin A, and it's also high in dietary fiber. Conclusion. In conclusion, you can feed your dog potatoes but in moderation. You can feed your dog potatoes if you want to, but it's best to feed your dog something else instead. Sweet potatoes, pumpkin, and butternut squash are all healthy alternatives to potatoes that you can feed your dog. You don't have to feed your dog potatoes, and you can feed your dog something else instead. If this video was useful to you, please consider liking and subscribing.